Welcome back to RMU's Dark Side News. I'm Aaron Fryer.
And I'm Nate Kingston. This week has been a huge week in the world of art and entertainment. We have news from video games, movies, events, and more.
Speaking of those, let's jump right into the show with our first topic of discussion, video game movies. So, Nate, we have a big movie releasing tomorrow, actually, Uncharted.
Uncharted.
You got any thoughts on that?
So personally, I am all for video game movies. I'm all for them. You know, I'd love to see great adaptations of this. Although, the casting choice, yes, this may be controversial, I know. But Tom Holland as Nathan Drake, he looks kind of young, and personally, he still looks like Peter Parker to me.
Yeah, the problem with Tom Holland is he's so typecast at the point, like he has to play like the young, naive adventurer, and I feel like Tom Holland in this movie will just be playing Tom Holland. And that overall, I think, kind of gains like the discrepancy with video game movies in general, because you see they bring in all these like big Hollywood actors when they could be doing stuff a lot more faithful to the actual games.
Yeah, exactly. Because those who don't know, Uncharted, a video game, a Sony property, PlayStation property, multiple games that span out, I believe 4 games total now.
Yeah.
Nathan Drake is like your Tomb Raider, but a guy.
Yeah, and he's a cool character, that's the thing. And we've seen, I know a few weeks ago, you showed me this really cool fan film of Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake.
The iconic Nathan Fillion. Dude lost a lot of weight, looks exactly like the character in Uncharted 4, but they went with a younger actor so they could have a span of movies.
Yeah, and that's the problem with the studios. They don't like, I get the vibe personally, like they don't understand what it means to be like a fan of the game. I know that some say that they're fans, but like they're ultimately trying to capitalize. They're trying to get people to see the movie. And honestly, if you're going to show up to like little kids and you're going to go, who's more recognizable, Tom Holland or Nathan Fillion? They're probably going to pick Tom Holland because he's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And
I completely agree with you. It's messed up. Yes, we can't get what we want all the time, but I feel like it could be still a good movie if you go see it.
It could be, but I mean, Tom Holland has not been doing a great job at promoting it. He's been like kind of like, I'm a little bit disappointed in how it turned out, and I just don't think that he holds a candle to like what it needs. And just in general, like the celebrities influencing the movies, like for example, Mario movie, Chris Pratt, Mario. We've talked about this before, but why is Chris Pratt Mario? Like, you had Charles Martinet, who's a perfectly fine voice actor. He is Mario at this point, and Chris Pratt.
Well, I mean, if this is a live-action Mario movie, I wouldn't cast Chris Pratt, but this is an animated Mario movie. Yes, we haven't heard him use his Mario voice yet. We haven't heard that. We haven't heard any voice bits or vocals at all from any of the characters in this that was cast. So it's still up in the air.
Yeah, it is ultimately. Hopefully it's good, but like, I wanted to talk to you also about like why don't normally video game movies work? Sure, we've seen like a bit of success in the past few years. Like for instance, I thought Detective Pikachu wasn't a bad movie.
It wasn't a bad movie. I'll be honest.
But why do you think that video game movies like fail to like hit the bar in general?
Well, I'd say they mainly miss the mark sometimes because, you know, some people, they don't play these games, or you have devoted diehard fans that are like, oh, this wasn't proper to the game that I play. This isn't up to my experience.
Yeah. They're expecting something out of, like, honestly, they're not necessarily blinded, but like they are construed by nostalgia because like they play, like for instance, I played Mario at a very young age, and to see him be butchered by the voice of Chris Pratt has me extremely worried right now. But you can't like capture the experience of what it is like booting up the game for the first time and like jumping around as Mario. That's why I think that Detective Pikachu worked, just because in like the actual Detective Pikachu game is so linear and it's just like very honestly, it felt made for the movie, like as if Detective Pikachu could have been its own movie without a game, and it would have made sense.
Yeah. Now, like moving on, like some classic stuff, we have Sonic 2 coming out after it was controversial at first, Sonic 1, and then they did a redesign and it was liked enough.
That is, yeah, and then not to mention, number 3 has been announced, and we're also getting a Knuckles spin-off. Like, they're going all in on this franchise. And when I tell you, when I first saw that Sonic trailer, I was just blown away by how bad he looked. But then I'm so glad that the studio actually listened and, like, changed it around, because That would have been awful. Imagine like Tails looking like essentially the Weasel from the Suicide Squad. Can you imagine that?
Yes, I can, and I'm grateful they went more cartoon and not real life. Other things going on, I know for shows, we have a new Halo show coming out on Paramount Plus, so if you have Paramount Plus, tune into that. And let me know how it is, because I don't have Paramount Plus. But from the trailers and the TV spots, it looked pretty good. Like, it looks good TV effects.
And 100%, like, all the TV in reference to that, a lot of the ads have been pushing this show, and I genuinely feel like this is one of the shows that could translate well if it's done right. In general, I think video games probably are better suited for the shows for TV than actual movies, because in movies you're trying to cram all that into an hour and a half. And so, but now, like with shows, you can like spread it out a bit more. You can like go into it. Like for instance, I mean, it's not a direct adaptation, but Castlevania got its whole anime series, so.
Yes. And now, coming up next, we have movies, events, and even the return of some characters. We'll be right back right after this.
It's been difficult because I hadn't been able to see my grandchildren.
I can't wait to get back to field trips with my school.
Not having to think about putting on a mask.
I really can't wait to get back to life, really.
I miss all my friends. I miss taking pictures in school.
An expression on someone's face when you do something nice for them.
COVID-19 vaccines are available, and they're the first step to safely getting back to things we miss most. Visit getvaccineanswers.org so you can make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 30 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people.
It's time to make an informed decision about COVID-19 vaccines. The dangerous new Delta variant is more than twice as contagious as the original virus and can affect anyone. Right now, 9 out of 10 hospitalizations and deaths from COVID are among unvaccinated people. Getting vaccinated might save your life, and there's now an option that's fully approved by the FDA. Learn more at getvaccineanswers.org.
Honorary Forest Ranger Betty White here, lending a hand to my dear friend Smokey Bear, because for years he's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But there's a lot more to say. Like, if you park your car on tall, dry grass, the hot exhaust pipe can start a wildfire. So keep the animals safe, especially the cute shirtless one. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back to Dark Side. Back in October, a deadly shooting on the set of Rust killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Today, Hutchins' family has filed a lawsuit against Alec Baldwin. The case, filed in Santa Fe, claims wrongful death and goes further into the circumstances faced on Rust's set. The lawsuit claims they hired unqualified armorers and had Hutchins assist with props as a result. Along with Baldwin, armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed and prop master Sarah Zachary are named in the lawsuit. Furthermore, the Hutchins family representative presented a 10-minute animated reenactment of the incident. We will be seeing in the coming months the true escalation and effects of the case.
And now, welcome back to the Hollywood. This past week, on February 8th, the nominations for the 94th Annual Academy Awards, aka the Oscars, they had the nominations online. These nominations were announced and hosted by Leslie Jordan and Tracy Ellis Ross. As for the nominations, the one with the most is the movie The Power of the Dog with 12. This is the movie with, never mind. These being the Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, and Best Supporting Actors, and more. The next movie with the most is Dune with 10 nominations, and one of them being Best Picture, but not Best Director or Best Acting. Other nominations were for West Side Story and Belfast that earned 7 each, and King Richard got 6 nominations as well. We will have to see who wins these nominations on March 27th.
Matt Groening had a big week with both the release of Disenchantment Part 4 and the reveal of Futurama's return. Disenchantment is the latest in the series of Matt Groening having been around since 2018. Thus, the new season dropping will further the story of Bean, Lucy, and Elfo as the trio were separated in the last season's finale. Meanwhile, Futurama is a show that is known for getting canceled, but due to fan demand has been revived several times. The show was originally canceled in 2003 before officially returning in 2009. The show then ran 2 seasons into 2013. Now the show once again makes its triumphant return with the confirmation of 20 new Futurama episodes on Hulu. Most of the cast will be returning. However, the absence of John DiMaggio, the voice of Bender, has raised concerns with fans. The series is set to premiere in 2023. Anyone under the age of 18, please cover your ears because we are talking about Adult Swim. Smiling Friends and Bird Girl both received news of their renewal. Smiling Friends revolves around a pair of employees at a company dedicated to bringing happiness to the world around them. The show premiered in January and has received a decent following, thus making the confirmation of Season 2 important to the channel. Bird Girl is a spin-off of Adult Swim's Harvey Birdman that follows Judy Ken-Sebin as she balances her superhero and work lives. Season 2 of Bird Girl drops in summer of 2022.
Going from Adult Swim to Disney+, Netflix's Marvel shows are coming to Disney+. It was announced by Netflix that the shows Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and The Punisher and The Defenders will all be leaving by the end of the month, February 28th. It is believed that Disney wanted to acquire these shows because they want all the Marvel content they can get in one space. Plus, some of the Netflix shows' characters have made cameos in current Marvel movies and Disney Plus shows, those being Daredevil in Spider-Man No Way Home and Kingpin in the show Hawkeye. I think this will work out in the long run, and it is great to have everything Marvel in one place. Continuing on with superheroes, DC has just announced this past weekend their full slate of movies for 2022, and even included some footage of these titles. The movies include, in order, are The Batman, Black Adam, The Flash, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the second Aquaman. This slate of movies was only put into a 1-minute promo, but they sure put a lot of content in it. For instance, all of the Batman shots were some that we have seen before in trailers, but as for the other 3 titles, all of the footage was new and teased. Because of this, we actually get to see a better look at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Black Adam. The point being made by this teaser trailer is crystal clear. This could be DC's biggest year cinematically ever, and they are trying to make that point in a flashy fashion. This is the first solo Batman movie in nearly a decade. The Flash is getting its first ever solo movie in live action, and The Rock is finally becoming a superhero. We're getting a sequel to the highest grossing DC film of all time, that being Aquaman, and I'll just say this trailer was packed. It was a complete pack and a huge statement for DC.
Season 3 of Love, Victor was announced this past July, but at the time it was not revealed to be its last. After finishing Season 2 on a cliffhanger, the Season 3 finale will provide the ultimate conclusion to the characters. The show will end with the plot nearing graduation day, the pivotal milestone for the LGBTQ rom-com. Season 3 is said to wrap up the character arcs in a satisfying way, and most of everything comes full circle with an emphasis on self-discovery. Tune into the show when its final season premieres June 15th on Hulu.
Do you remember a large, blue-headed, underrated movie? Well, that movie was Megamind, and he is returning. After 12 years of the movie being released in 2010, DreamWorks is going to be making a sequel show. On February 11th, it was revealed that popular DreamWorks Animation Films has partnered with the streaming service to offer new animated kids programming. The sequel, titled Megamind's Guide to Defending Your City, is based on the 2010 movie and will be available to stream through NBC's Peacock. But at this time, we'll have to see. A synopsis of the show is the series will see Megamind as he films himself becoming a hero, creating a guide for other heroes, and essentially becoming a superhero social media influencer. It remains unclear when it will exactly premiere, and if any or all of the original star cast will return to voice their characters. Now, this is just horrible, Aaron. I hope they don't ruin the movie. They're gonna ruin the movie. They made him an influencer.
They made him an influencer. I don't think it's gonna ruin the movie. You can never break what the movie is, but I mean, I'm excited just because more Megamind, honestly.
Yeah, I will say that. When we come back, we'll be breaking down some of our favorite Super Bowl commercials and the newest trailers that were dropped during the game.
Stay tuned on RMU's Dark Side News.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantori here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family, and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe, start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
Volver a vivir esos momentos comienza con protegerlos contra el COVID-19 y sus peligrosas variantes nuevas. Obtén la información más reciente en detidepende.org o consulta con tu pediatra o proveedor de servicios médicos.
Freedom. It's at the core of who we are. The freedom to live without fear, to jog where we please, to wear a hoodie. The freedom to breathe. Before we celebrate the freedom most Americans have, we must fight for the freedom all Americans deserve. Because all lives can't matter until Black lives matter.
Hey, boss. Okay.
Said I'm fine.
Hey, son.
Hey, Bob.
You know you can talk to me.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Dark Side News. Now, like I said before, we will be going on to some of these Super Bowl commercials, but we're not talking about the game or the ads. We're talking about these trailers that were dropped. Aaron, what was your favorite trailer of the whole Super Bowl commercial?
Honestly, I'm going to be real. I've been out of Marvel for a bit, but Multiverse of Madness is looking real good right now.
Oh, yes. Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It looks absolutely insane, absolutely bonkers, and it takes place right after the No Way Home movie, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Can't forget about WandaVision, though.
Oh, WandaVision as well.
WandaVision, it does take place after WandaVision.
This movie, I feel like, is going to be the next Civil War, like Captain America Civil War.
That's
like
an interesting take.
It's big enough that it's not an Avengers movie, but it's also not small enough to be like a solo.
Okay, so would you say that No Way Home was the end game, and now we're like demoting down the Civil War with the Multiverse of Madness?
Oh man, that's a great thing to say. That's a great thing to say.
Yeah, I know. But
as looking at all these trailers, I could tell that they're kind of. If you watched Marvel's What If, the animated series, I feel like they're bringing What If to life in movies, while also bringing in the WandaVision show in that as well.
Yeah, yeah. And if you look at some of the other trailers too, like we also got a new trailer for Moon Knight, which is dropping, I believe, near the end of March.
Yes, March 30th.
And
Moon Knight's coming out.
That's going to be like an interesting new canon to look into, because honestly, the trailers kind of look trippy. So
oh yeah, they look trippy.
I'm very excited to look at into that one too. There are other movies like, honestly, these were the main highlights of the show for me. Like, I'm not a big football guy, but hey, it was always fun watching these trailers. Like, I saw Lord of the Rings, and I'm like, that's Lord of the Rings. I know that one.
Yeah, well, the Lord of the Rings, they have a new prequel spinoff. It's going to be Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power. That's going to be on Amazon Prime. And going on with that, I mean, have you watched a lot of the Lord of the Rings movies?
I have not actually, but like I could recognize I was like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is
I can definitely recognize it. And then you also have like stuff like Jurassic World. You got the new Jordan Peele movie that's getting
Nope, yeah, Nope looks good.
That's getting a lot of attention. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, of course, dropped their new trailer. Very excited about that.
New Michael Bay movie, Ambulance, in LA.
Well, you know
LA Ambulance.
you know how many
explosions?
How many explosions are going to be on that one?
Oh, of course. And also, there was a new Netflix movie coming out with Ryan Reynolds again, Adam Project, which has like a supernatural aspect to it, which is really cool.
Yeah, and then I believe we also have a new, new Sandra Bullock movie called The Lost City with Daniel Radcliffe.
Also featuring Channing Tatum.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy.
And there's also a Peacock series going to be coming out, or show comedy going to be Joe and Carol off of the Tiger King. It's going to be so comedic.
Why do we need that though? Like genuinely, like we have the documentary. What's the point?
Well, I know they're bringing a lot of comedians together. They got a bunch of people from SNL coming in. But it's going to be weird.
We already saw the show though. We already saw the show. Like, do we really need to have a whole like? Do we really even need to have the entire Tiger King retold to us? I mean, the people have suffered enough. Like,
I believe they do have suffered enough, but it seems like they're going to be going into the things we haven't seen, things that are just written on paper.
But how would they know? You know,
how do they know?
Are they just like reenacting some of the stuff that, you know what? I'm not even gonna try and touch that. That's a whole other thing.
Going back to other things that we talked before, I know Jurassic Park Dominion, the third Jurassic Park movie of this trilogy, the second trilogy we have of these Jurassic movies. What do you feel about this?
Now it's Chris Pratt again, isn't it?
Yes, it's Chris Pratt again.
Yeah, that one's a bit rough. I mean, of course, Jurassic World was not a good movie. I will be the first to say that. It was a fun movie, though.
Yes,
so I'm
it was
hoping
a fun
that
movie.
so long as World Dominion's fun, I'll be like, okay, this is fine.
Yeah.
I don't really.
Although for that movie, they're bringing back a lot of the original cast from the first Jurassic Park movie, so you know you're putting two and two together.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
And then there's one more show I want to touch on real quickly, Bel Air.
Bel Air,
which is it's the reboot of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
They make it very dramatic and very cinematic. It's very different. I will say that.
I am interested, but also nervous. Now, as for back to news, on a somber note, can we get a moment of silence for the Nintendo Wii U and 3DS eShop? Okay, now that is over, let's talk about it. Nintendo announced the end of their online shopping service for their last-gen consoles, going offline in March 2023. The virtual console and games will no longer be able to be purchased as a result. Fans have been looking back and reminiscing on their old games on the console, and although it still has a year to go, the announcement marks the symbolic end of an era for Nintendo.
Who's ready for Rockstar's next game? Well, I am, and the next one is GTA 6. Fans have been eagerly awaiting GTA 6 for many years now. Such anticipation has resulted in an onslaught of rumors, speculation, and leaks. Some, naturally, have proven to be more legitimate than others, despite information on the game being kept closely under wraps, such as if it will even be called GTA 6. A huge leak has resurfaced after Rockstar announced the next game in the series was underway. The leak was that the series will return to Vice City, and the game will span from the 1970s to 1980s. Now, these are just leaks and rumors, but they have been somewhat true in the past. We will have to see when GTA 6 comes out in 2023.
Continuing the story of the Blizzard Activision acquisition means taking on the franchise of Call of Duty. The game series is notorious for pushing out a game every year. However, there looks to be a change with the merging of Microsoft and Activision. There is hope the games will be focused on quality rather than fulfilling that yearly push out. Also rejoice for PlayStation Call of Duty fans as Phil Spencer confirmed that Call of Duty games will remain on the PlayStation even after the acquisition. Despite it being the competing brand to Xbox, Microsoft intends to honor the deal set forth prior to the acquisition.
On to some more Battle Royale games. Apex Legends Season 12 dropped last week on February 8th. This is the first new season of 2022 and will feature the new Legend Maggie and an Olympus map update and the new control mode. The 12th season of Apex releases just after the 3rd anniversary of the game's release and brings with it the game's 20th character and its familiar face. Most new Legends have been mysteries until their reveal, but this has changed with Ash in Season 11 and now with Mad Maggie in Season 12. Maggie is Fuse's ex-girlfriend from his Salvo days. To wrap that up.
And finally, the news you've all been expecting, the Nintendo Direct, right after the break.
Every day,
millions of people are connecting.
And even though we're overcoming obstacles,
watching each other's backs,
and banding together,
we should still make an effort.
We should still make an effort
to get to know each other
on a deeper level.
Father,
cosplayer,
mentor,
actor.
It's time we take a step forward.
It's time we take a step forward.
Come together
and discover
how accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo!
Oh, hey, Julia!
You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum.
Drum loud.
Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music.
Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Can I get the now bar, please?
$1.
Have a good one.
Got it.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
Let me get a now bar.
Sure.
$1.
Appreciate you.
Got it.
Welcome back to Dark Side News. Well then, that was certainly a lot of things to talk about, especially closer to the show. Hopefully we picked out all the good ones. We actually have one major thing that we still need to talk about, the Nintendo Direct. Now, the Nintendo, they dropped so much there. They dropped new Mario Strikers. They dropped new Mario Kart DLC. They dropped Xenoblade news. They dropped Kirby Mouthful Mode, Nintendo Switch Sports, Fire Emblem 3, like they went crazy on that
Oh
one.
my gosh, I cannot wait for the next Nintendo sports game, especially on the Switch. All the capabilities with that, I can't wait to see what they have going on for them.
Nate, are we going to start playing tennis on the show? I feel like that needs to happen. But I genuinely was very surprised to see that Nintendo Switch Sports. I know Xenoblade, the release date was extremely good to see because that game is huge. I don't know if you've ever played a Xenoblade because I played Xenoblade Chronicles X, and it's massive. The scope of the Xenoblade games is massive, and it's crazy to think that it's coming out in September, especially since the last game had its DLC not too long ago.
Oh yeah. I mean, I personally have never played Xenoblade. You can smite me at the stake right now.
Listen, I don't judge. I don't judge. But
yeah, but I know we have a lot of other news coming. Kirby, obviously. I know you're a big Kirby guy.
Oh yeah, I am a big Kirby. Actually, on Valentine's Day, I just started handing out I printed out the Nintendo Valentine's Day card and just started handing them out to people.
I can confirm that. I definitely got one. I can confirm.
I made sure that you got one, Nate. But Kirby Mouthful Mode sounds super fun. Along with, it feels like the Odyssey type of thing that captures you, and then that gets you to get the game, and it's just going to add to the gameplay. Not to mention the game looks absolutely beautiful.
Yes, definitely. I know with all this going on, we're going to get a lot more. Honestly, I love how they keep expanding onto the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
And I know other games also to be coming out on the Nintendo Switch is MLB The Show, which is crazy.
We're not talking about it. We're just going to not talk about that one. That was the worst part of the Direct. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If we want baseball, just add that update into Nintendo Switch Sports. But there's also the Mario Kart DLC, which is crazy because everyone was expecting a new Mario Kart. But I think the DLC is a good thing. $25 for 48 new courses. That sounds like fun. I just wish they added in a few more characters and items. And also, I just want to do a special shout out to Fire Emblem 3 Hopes. I'm not a big Warriors guy, but I am a big Fire Emblem guy, and Three Houses is probably one of my favorite games of all time. So I am so happy to see every character that's going to be in that, ecstatic. But there was also Strikers, which was a dead series.
Yes.
Everyone considered it to be dead. And everything was good. Everything looked good in the Direct except for MLB The Show. But
well, it's cool they're going to cross platforms there. But
yeah. But it was just in a row of so much good stuff, there just wasn't enough room for MLB The Show. But buy the Mario Kart DLC.
Yes,
that's all
definitely.
I'm saying.
Once again, I am Nathan Kingston.
And I'm Aaron Fryer.
We'll see you next week on Dark Side News.